Alrighty, so as you guys know, I have, what the hell, hold on a second, my TV is not even on. Let's put it this way. Oh God, I hate this. I don't know what to do. Why am I wasting my time with this? Nobody knows. Anyway, so sorry about that, folks. So 26 seconds left. Oh, me wasted. Anyway, so as you guys know, I got my battery. Okay, it was nicely delivered, very professional by FedEx. Signature required. It was a 1080 or 1050 or 1050. $1,050 for the battery. It was 72. It is for 72 volts, 50 amp hour. If you guys haven't seen the battery, it's somewhere down below, okay, or in my channel, the latest video, which I shot it yesterday. And it is not 1865 cells, nothing like that. It's a rectangle leaf batteries. Each cell carries 5,000 amp hours, milliamp hours. That's what it is. Yes, milliamp hours. No, amp hours. Anyway, so that's 1 per 20s, which gives me 50,000, which gives me 50 amp hour. Okay, good capacity, and I'm hoping for the best results on it or with it. Um, the battery came charged pretty much fully at 83 volts, and it in a nice sleeve. Okay, but I'm not gonna go into details because there's a video back there. So what we had to do was obviously hook up the leads and do the charges and all that good stuff. I'm going to bring the the, the battery on the table really fast because I have it in the house. Okay, pretty heavy. All right. So this is the battery. All right. You wonder what that is. That's actually so it doesn't go back and forth in my frame. But anyway, so this is your discharge. Anderson's. Nicely, everything's nicely heat shrink. Electric tape also, so cables stay together. And of course, let me take a look. Okay, this is sealed. These are sealed, so you don't need screws here. 10 gauge, so this is a 50 amp. Again, soldered very nicely. Heat shrink very nicely. Everything's done separately. This is your positive plus, you can see. Sorry, your positive power and your negative power, right? You can see it. Yep, negative power. So that goes to Anderson, okay? Then you switch it over, switch these guys over, charge positive and charge negative for black and red. And then it goes to beautiful TX60, also very nicely soldered, very evenly. Good heavy duty solder. These cables or these wires aren't as thick as these, but this is to charge, so your TX60 is going to be just totally fine, is it? Okay. Very solid cable and adapter. Love it. This is always good stuff. Okay, so that's the battery. Again, this thing over here, so it doesn't, see, it doesn't wobble back and forth. My concerns are pretty much the the front and the back. Okay, these are my concerns. This is my concern right over here, the edges, and as you can see, if I keep taking the battery in and out, it's going to see there's a little scuff already from take it in and take it out. Okay, so this is going to be addressed. We'll think of something. This is again your sign. You want to get you guys want to get a close up. This is your close up. 72 50 amp hour. This is the company from California. So that's the battery. It's got a nice handle down over here. Okay, heavy duty wrapping string. Definitely got to adjust the edges here. Definitely got to adjust the edges here. All right, so that's the battery. Okay, very happy with the battery. Now, in regards to the performance, right? So this is 72 volts, 50 amp hour battery, pushing on the 50 amps. So if we do quick math, 72 volts multiplied by 50 amps is 3600 watts. That's how you calculate that. And so that's continuous. Peak is 100. So we take the 72 volts multiplied by 100, that's 7200 watts peak. So that peak could be, I believe it's 3 to 5 continuous seconds. Okay, and then it just drops. So eventually, could I put 150 amp BMS Bluetooth? Of course. I want to see first the performance. In regards to performance without a load, because I'm kind of how can I say, producing my own frame, if you might say, kind of modifying the frame that I have. So it's going to take a little while, but you guys are going to be surprised because it fits very well, and it would not fit if I haven't had done that modification. So you got to stay glued to the channel until I shoot that video, explain to everybody how was it done. And it's the easiest thing ever. It's just scary to do it because you could screw up your entire frame, but once you get it done, you're good. That battery is going to go right in. It's 4-inch by 13.5 by 9. So 9 in height, 13.5 in length, and the width, how wide it is, it's about 4 inches. I would say 3 3/4. Okay, so stay tuned on this channel for that reveal. And again, back to performance. At a free spin, right? So we all know what free spin is. Without any load, the bike shows 52 miles an hour. That's a little bit over 86 kilometers, okay? Or within 86 kilometers. Now, so here's a fact. My other battery, I was able to spin it, I believe at 35, right? Free spin without a load. And on a flat land, I was able to do 35 miles an hour. Obviously, down the hill, I was doing about 40. But yes, when I look at my GPS, it says 35 top speed. So I was able, this isn't down the hill, this is flatland. So my belief is that I will be able to hit 50 miles an hour on that 50 amps of power. Okay. Now, that's the goal. In 99.9%, I'm almost sure that I will be able to hit that fast. Going up the hill, that probably will come down, probably to 40 miles an hour, which here in New York City, it's plenty of speed, especially the way people drive carelessly and don't really give a shit if they kill you or not because they'll fucking take off regardless. So who cares, right? Anyway, and now the insurance right now is fucking bunch of mafia boys, you know, collecting money because when it comes to pay, they don't want to pay. But anyway, so that's the goal. However, I'm thinking, so I've noticed that these two 48 volt battery power if I do my calculation and I see what wattage I was using, um, so 48 multiplied by 30, right, is about 1800 watts. Since the I think the controller was only 15 amps. I'm sorry, the controller, the BMS was 15 amps. I had two BMSs that gave me 30, which actually makes sense. It actually makes sense. Which I tapped at about 2000 watts. So if you take the 48 multiplied by 30 amps, it comes to I hope I'm doing the right calculation. It comes to like 2000 watts. I've done it before. I don't have the calculator here, and I'm just too lazy and too tired to do it. But again, it showed that the system looked as if it had a 30 amp controller, 15 and 15. Okay, these see, I wish I could do it. I forget. I don't even have a pen to do the math. But if I take the 48 multiply, actually, you know what? I wasn't doing 48 because it tips off at 54. So I was doing 54. That's how it came to like roughly 2000 watts. But again, I was drawing 2000 watts from that bike. Um, so I was able to do on that battery solid 12 miles. Okay. Now here's the problem, right? So let's say this battery, the 72-volt battery, it shuts down at 50 volts. That's when it cuts off, right? Now nobody's gonna take it that low. Okay, I'll probably keep it at 54 because at 54, with lesser weight, obviously, but at 54, I was able to do 35 miles no problem at a good pace. So again, this battery cuts out at 50, 50 volts. Now my other battery, after obviously 48-volt battery, cuts out at 42. The lowest I could get it was 45 because the bike wouldn't go nowhere. I would be able to go on a flatland, but the minute I get it up the hill, no go. Okay, so yes, flatland I can do plenty. Um, the speed out of flatland would be about 15 miles an hour. So the battery again, once it's depleted, that's how it goes. So that's that. I just really okay. So pretty much I know that the first charge cycle is it's there. The first test run is going to be different from the others because you have to get couple cycles of charge, discharge, charge and discharge. That's why I want to install it so I can discharge it, and the best way to do it is to discharge it on a bike. But I want to do 3 or 4 cycles, and then I can compare. I can do maybe a distant test, see how far I can take the 50 amp hour battery. Okay, I should be a happy camper. Okay, but again, the goal is in the summer. See, now it's winter, and I should be working outside. I'm not because it's freaking cold. You know, it is only going to get colder, and I can't. This battery cannot be outside below freezing temperatures. 33. That's a no go. Okay, so the chemistry in the cells it totally changes. So it's got to be indoors. So you guys, if you keep your bike dice in a garage, there's no heat. I would think about it twice and bring the battery home, even though fire hazard. But as long as nobody stabs it, nobody is charging this without watching or looking or monitoring the battery, you're good. Anyway, off the subject. So the goal is for the summer season, right, which is probably May, to get additional battery. I'm hoping the least 30 amp, same company, same specs, 30 amp hour, okay, or go extreme, go 35. I'm not. I wouldn't. There's no way I want to do another 50. This battery is too heavy for the bike. Okay, I can do probably 30 and put it in the rear rack, have it nicely stable, nicely installed and stable, and hopefully that will give me that additional 50 um, BMS, 50 and BMS. I'm just hoping, but I know that I'm going to be happy. Maybe it's not what I'm expecting because after you've seen so many videos on YouTube, everybody doing 80 miles an hour, you're like, holy shit. But guys, I'm 250 pounds. If I'm doing 80 miles an hour, holy shit, I'm gonna fucking shit bricks in my pants. There's no way I want to do 80. I mean, I'm gonna take that back. Maybe I do want to do 80. I want to see how it feels, and that's about it. I don't want to be capable of doing 80 continuously because I'll kill myself. And like I said, if I'm doing 50 with this bike, whew, man, let me tell you, the brakes, shoes, they're gonna go. It's gonna be a heavy bike. Hopefully, I don't have to pedal it because that 12 pounds versus 49 pounds, 50 pounds of batteries. That's you know a big change. Just big situation. I don't want to pedal that shit. There's no way you can pedal that fucking thing, you know. But yes, so that's that. So I modified the frame. I had to cut it here and there, trim, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Everything is set. Everything is go. I just have to. I kind of like temporarily checked out the battery. How's it going to fit? So I know where to lead the wires, which way to go with it, and it's all crazy shit. You can't do it one day. You can't do it in 2 days. Probably will take 5 days because you have to rewire everything, unplug everything, plug everything, and solder, certain things here and there, reposition wires, cables. I gotta do my, 12-volt step down connection. I gotta do my kill switch connection. So that has to be, without causing any explosion, without shortening the batteries. I mean, God forbid you want to do that. I mean, you do that, So you gotta be extremely careful of how you work with this battery. And then I have to, of course, do protection on the battery, wherever the metal is sharp, make sure it's dull, make sure it's somehow somewhat protected. And unfortunately, since it's not a season, I would have to, every time I ride a bike, hopefully it's all on the weekends, I have to take the battery out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in. It's like, ah, God. And when you remove things back and forth, you actually start putting wear and tear and damages into the cover of the batteries or whatever it is. I have few ideas, see if it's gonna work. Other than that, I need you guys to be patient because right now everything is taken seriously, literally apart. The bike was already tested, the battery runs. Again, I'm used to like the real wheel spinning at fucking 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. But again, it's spinning at about 52, 53 miles an hour. I went from 50 amps from drawing from battery to 100, and actually literally went slower. It went at 47, and then I switched it back to 50 amps, and it went at 52, 53. So interesting. But I do have the 3.5T winding motor, so it's supposed to be for high speed motor, not a torquey motor. Wait, one turkey motor? Not really. I don't care about really the torque that much. I care about the speed. I want to get to places. If I need to go like off-road or whatever, I really don't want to do that, to be honest with you. I don't want to get the bike too dirty. I don't want to get the bike too muddy. I don't want to get the parts muddy and then I have to maintain the parts, clean them. If I can't clean them, I got to replace them, so it costs money. So the goal is to get a couple of things. I got the wires going, I got the washers, nuts, screws, all that. I got everything in there. Um, it's just in order for it to be perfect, it's going to take time, and I need patience. That's why I'm not rushing today. It is cold. I don't want to be out there being upset, being pissed off, dropping things out of my fingers because they are cold and freezing. I'm not gonna do a test drive today. I have to tomorrow. I gotta go to work, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Maybe Saturday. The closer I come to the winter, the less things I can do with the bike outside, and I can't bring it inside because one, I don't want to. Two, wife will probably cut my balls off and make sure that I don't use it no more. So I gotta make sure that everything looks kosher and everything is nice and copacetic, how people say. So that's the goal. But I promise you guys, once I start moving forward with the project, a few ideas how to connect things. Unfortunately, few wires are going to be underneath the bike, which I'm not scraping the bike with anything. But what I'm going to do is I am going to somehow, somewhat try to protect it, zip tie it, do all kinds of things that I can to the bike so it looks legit. You can't see all that mess underneath the bike. It is going to be outside, but I do I have a choice? I do, but I would have to extend all the wires, and especially the motor wires and the face wires. I really don't want to mess with that, even though it's easy. It's not hard. I just I don't. I want to see how the bike performs first, and then see where I can make the improvements. I definitely got to come up something with the battery. See how I can protect it. I have a plexiglass. Maybe what I'll do, I'll cut it out. I'll put it around the battery, make it strong that way, and pretty much use a gorilla tape to make sure that it is uh, very well protected. Because the minute it gets a puncture, the minute the bike goes back and forth, brake go. Now it's rubbing against some sort of steel part of a frame. Now you got a puncture, and now one, you might have an explosion. Two, you might have a short circuit. Three, you will lose over $1,000 worth of battery. So we do not want to do that, and therefore I do not want to rush with this project. So please promise me, guys, you're gonna be patient and you're gonna wait for the next video to come out, and it might be about the project being finished, might be an update, or I might just shoot a quick video of what I did with the frame, and probably that's what's gonna happen. So stay tuned. I will try to get that video footage out with a modification to the frame. See, maybe you guys can actually go ahead and for $1,000, the 50 amp hour battery, it's doable. All right. So anyway, until then, folks, stay safe, be safe, wear your gear. Don't be a tough guy on the road. Just get it off.